for me was a tremendous undertaking. This was race number 5, and it took everything in my power and in my strength and to do it. But I could tell you that those of you that were with us or with me in this journey, I could tell you you were the wind beneath my wings. So I just want to say thank y'all for being in this fight. We all knew it was a uphill battle, but we were committed. So I just want to say thank you for that. I see Marcel has joined. Thank you. I wasn't trying to navigate this ship alone, brother. So I just wanted to kind of speak to my race. Um, I'm not sure if you haven't seen the video from this past Saturday. Please go back and watch. I actually interviewed a Republican here, but let me go back before I get into Saturday's interview. When election night came, um, I kind of got still, and I was on Clubhouse the hour prior from 6 to 7, 6 to 6:30. Really, I don't think we did the whole hour, but just got on to say thank you over there. Um, but got it just at 7 o'clock when the polls closed. I knew, I was like, okay, this is it. So I just got quiet, got still. I said I wasn't going to look. I was going to let God just move. And I did look a couple times. I just kind of peeked in. And when I saw where those numbers were, I stopped looking. I was like, you know what? I'm going to bed. So I went to bed and woke up the next morning and saw something that did not make a whole lot of sense. Didn't make a whole lot of sense in my race, because I'm like, I know where we were able to penetrate. I know um, where we had a whole lot of support. I knew the numbers I knew did not make sense. So as I traveled down the rest of the ballot and I saw this margin where, I mean, us getting 3-4% and we're not getting 96% made absolutely no sense. So traveling down the ballot, saw other races where I knew for a fact that those margins that I saw in other races should not be as well. So when I saw it wasn't just my race, I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what this is, but these other races where I knew other candidates and I know their districts and I know how they were moving, I knew something was wrong. Still I didn't know what I was looking at. So started having conversations with other candidates, Democratic candidates, and then started having conversations with Republican candidates and realized what had happened on the Democratic primary. There was the same kind of margins and errors that we see as errors and discrepancies in those races. So it wasn't just the Democrats, it was Republicans too. So I interviewed a Republican candidate that ran. And what happened here in Georgia, before I even go to that again, let me come back. So what happened here in Georgia, DeKalb County, there was a race where one of the candidates came in third place, and she went and looked and found it, even the precinct where she voted for her, where her and her husband voted for her, that there were no numbers for that precinct. It was 0. So she challenged it, and that's what came out first, that there was a race where precincts had no reporting, and she challenged it. Come to find out, she wasn't in third place. She was actually in first place. That was DeKalb County. Fulton County did something, and we still trying to figure out like what happened in Fulton County. A lot of this stuff is gray. So what I'm telling you is what I know. And if you hear like you can't follow it, just know I can't even explain it, because I'm still trying to figure out how to follow it and explain it myself, because it's such a mess. Fulton County actually on a Sunday called a meeting to decertify. So they did something in Fulton County that did not make any sense either. Like, okay, on a Sunday in the middle of the day, y'all about to recertify, not decertify, recertify the numbers. Like y'all about to count them, go through something. Like, still don't know what they were doing in Fulton County. Cobb County, another county here in Georgia, something happened over there. So there's these incidents that we're watching unfold, and people scramble. So Go to the Saturday interview. I interviewed a Republican who ran um, in a race where her numbers were crazy too. And the interview went extremely, extremely well. And she was able to, on the surface, talk about the machines and the discrepancies and what they believe to be, true about what's going on. And so just to kind of give you some backstory, y'all remember when Stacey Abrams ran in 2018? Stacey said that there was something going on and the election was stolen. She said it then. Now, 2020, Joe Biden, the Democrats, they got something out of this because Donald Trump didn't win. So did Donald Trump really lose? Did Joe Biden really win? We don't know. Did Stacey Abrams really lose? We don't know. But 2022, because of the discrepancies of what we're seeing, we're now looking at this further and we're going to dive in deep. And we're very much so on the surface. The reason why I've been quiet is because there's not a whole lot I can say, because there's not a whole lot I really, really know. And I am still learning. And I want y'all to watch the YouTube again from Saturday, where I talk with the Republican, because I say, and I just keep saying, it was like the lights were off for us as Democrats. And now the light has been turned on, and we don't know. I don't know what's going on. But I know that the numbers that we ended up with are not correct. I am very clear about that. So I'll yield the mic. Brother Marcel and Brother William has made it to the space, so I'll yield the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamara. Reverend Somerville, Brother Marcel, would either of you like to share some thoughts?
I'll go because Marcel had his election last. Mine was second to last among the three of us. Really, I won't be able to stay on long, but I clearly want to come in to first thank you, Alexis, along with Black Political Swingers, Samantha, Rella, for coalitioning and coalescing us reparationist candidates. Uh, Tamara, all my love, Marcel. Uh, Clearly, great journeying with you on this. For me right now, um, I have to reassess, what's going to happen for 2020, for 2024, 26. Also, I am really up for candidating to pastor this church right now. And so my public interview is the fourth Sunday in June in Gardena, California. And from there, we see what goes from there. But our with my race, we just there were just some serious missteps on our behalf, and we know exactly where to correct them, how to move forward. We were fortunate enough to get the Young Turks interview on the day of the election, which really started more momentum than what I had anticipated, because the emails and calls and everything are flooding in now. I'm like, I really could have used y'all 3 months ago, but it is what it is, and that's where we are. And and I yield the mic.
So basically, pretty much, I started. First of all, I already thanked everyone in my letter. I don't think y'all are interested in hearing me go through. Thank you, everyone. No, so I already thanked y'all in my letter. Let me get to the brass tacks. So first of all, I started 7 months ago, but most of that time I had no money. Okay, I had over 6,000 when January came. And then I spent the 3,000, 3,500 to get registered. Then I was down to 3,000. Okay. Well, I was down to less than that because some people came down to help me and I helped them out. So I was really down scary. But then I had that debate, if you want to call it, with Michael Harriot. And then I got $15,000 that night. And that debate with Michael Harriot catapulted my campaign into a whole nother level. Interviews galore, big time donations pouring in, but that was by the end of March. So really, I only had money during April and May. So I realized I should have started earlier. I'm going to continue addressing some of the things where I felt I could have done better. I also, and this is probably going to shock some people, but you could be shocked or not, but I'm going to say it, it's the truth. I also ignored white people. That was another mistake. Yep, I said it. I ignored white people too much. I should have known that there were too many coons among us to think for their own self interest. I should have known that coons don't think about their own self interest. I knew that white conservatives would like certain things on my platform, like against illegal immigration, against abortion, 2A. The abortion and legal immigration part are two things which I am strongly against, and I will never, ever be for it. However, I didn't really market myself to white conservatives. I just said if they ever see my campaign, they will see it and they will support it. I made a mistake. I should have gone to more Republican spaces. That lady, Monica, y'all know the evangelical one? Yeah, she's kind of out there, but there's a lot of white evangelicals. Tamara knows, and she's in Georgia, and I'm in South Carolina. There are a lot of white Republicans who are quote unquote evangelicals. I really should have used her more because she held spaces and she would get tens of thousands of white conservatives. She's in Georgia, so she got a lot of listeners in Georgia and South Carolina. I didn't do that. I spoke to a lot of my people because my people were first and foremost and still are going to be, but I should have also made a more concerted effort to speak to white conservatives. I should have gone to them and say what I always say when I speak to them, that I'm for reparations. I ain't backing down. You don't have to like it. But look, you are also in a district that is 73% Democrat. You are not going to win. A Republican is not going to win. So you might as well get a Democrat that aligns with you on some issues that Republicans tend to be very passionate about, which is 2A, abortion and legal immigration. I did not do that. So that was another missed opportunity. Other than that, I think I should have been more visible, but I dare someone to come over here and tell me what I should have done. I want someone to come here and tell me I should have gone to the churches. I was working 60 hours a week. If there was anything I should have done, and we are all reparationists, then anyone who's willing to say that, you should have come down here and helped me do it. If you weren't doing that, then don't get up here telling me what I should have done. But I should have had more visibility. But I was working 60 hours a week, and by the time spring break came around, and summer vacation came around, I was able to be available, 24/7. People were just finding out about me, and I don't think enough people got to know me. And the other thing is too, though, the turnout was very, very, very low. Like in Clyburn's hometown, which has a population of like 110,000, only 1,000 something people voted for him. 53 for me and like 77 for the other guys. So the turnout was unfortunately very, very low. So the battle I have to fight is not just getting people to vote for me, but getting people to even care enough to want to vote. My district has not been competitive in 30 years. This is the first time people have ever had their votes courted for this position in a real legitimate way. So the fact that I started 7 months ago from scratch, and the fact that y'all took me from not having any political connections or know-how or exposure to now having to be over 60 interviews, internet, radio, and television, to I have people like, what's his name? DJ Vlad, who wrote me, and what's these guys' name? 8805 Shaq. They wrote me. Like William said, they wrote me at the last minute. So they couldn't get me in on time to help my interview. I might still be on their platforms. I know people say DJ Vlad is an agent. He asks questions that are meant to, I guess, people to expose themselves. And ain't nothing that he could expose about me that I ain't already told y'all. I'm the guy that told y'all I have sex in alleys. So, I mean, what can he possibly get me to expose that I haven't already said? So he can ask me what the hell he want to say. The dangerous thing with me is not what you ask me, it's that I may very well answer it. The 85 South Shack guy wrote me. I was supposed to get down to Atlanta, but we just couldn't make it happen in time. So at the time I started to get big exposure, my campaign, the voting was like the next day. So the good news is, quote unquote loss is just an opportunity for you to try to win again. You can look at it as a loss, or you can look at it as I have another chance to win. The truth of the matter is, I may have lost this election, but y'all, we are winning this race. Okay? Clyburn and the Congressional Slack Caucus, they are very well hated. Clyburn, with his 30 years and he being so supposedly popular, how come he couldn't even break 50,000 votes? Still. And this time, he actually campaigned. The man had billboards all over. He had yard signs all over. He made public appearances. He actually campaigned. They gave him, they gave me 2 minutes of speaking time. They will give him 30 minutes. The unfairness. They will write fluff pieces about him, propaganda, in our largest newspapers, and will not contact me nor any of the other candidates. They will only contact us to get a little quote we made just to say, okay, we contacted them too. Because there's this ethical thing that media publications like to follow, where if you give one candidate speaking time, you need to give it to the others, but it will be disproportionate. They will give them 30 minutes and give us two. During the state convention, the Democratic state convention, they put his ads in the pamphlets. They never offered it to me. And my other opponent, Dr. Addison, he wrote them an ads because he paid for ads to be put in the pamphlets. They said they would get back to him, and they did not. Okay? So there was a lot of unfairness going on. But the point of the matter is, look how hard he had to work. I was broke for most of this campaign, and yet we made his old ass work. Okay? He is now actually talking about heirs property. He now actually has HR 40, which no, I do not support. We know it's sorry, but he actually has HR 40 on his website. He actually has reparations mentioned on his website. We did that. Little old me, 7 months ago, started from nothing. We have him talking about heirs property. We have him talking about reparations. Yes, it's HR 40, and yes, it's not sufficient, but the fact of the matter is he's actually talking blacker than he has ever spoken in his decades of selling us out. Okay? So he might have won this election, but we win in this race. Okay? Think about the tortoise in the hare. The hare was ahead, right? Or so he thought he was, and he fell asleep because he was cocky and arrogant, and he thought he had won. What happened? He woke up, and the tortoise had passed him. He's a tortoise. Clyburn and the Congressional Slack Caucus, they the hare. Let them sit there and think they winning. Let them sit there and think they living in a tower where our stones can't reach them, and we're going to show them differently. Let me tell y'all. People say, well, Marcel, now that your campaign is over, what you plan to do? And I keep saying to people, my campaign is over. When did it end? I don't recall telling anybody my campaign was over. When did that happen? My campaign ain't going to end until we get reparations. So don't ask me when my campaign is over. You can ask me when it's going to end, and I'll tell you it's going to end when we get reparations. I want to give some dishonorable mentions, if I may. Okay, y'all ready? Charlemagne the Fraud. He took his ass on Bill Maher talking about reparations, and he's from South Carolina, from a town an hour from me, and he knows I'm down here in North Charleston, right next door to where he's from. You might as well say he's from there, because that's the North Charleston metropolitan area, and he never once shouted me out. He never once offered an interview, and yes, I reached out to him. One of the first things I did when I started by myself was send him an email. And then when I got a team, they sent some emails. Yes, we reached out to him. Yes, he ignored us. Yes, he saw it. And yes, he made that decision. But he took his coon ass to Skamala around to get some collard greens. See, that's what he does. I want to shout out Nina Turner. Yeah, Nina Turner turned on us. She can endorse some white girl running on a quote-unquote reparations platform. Did she endorse Tamara? Well, you know her. Did she endorse you? Well, you might want to
No,
leave. I'm
no,
choosing
she,
balance. I'm
yeah,
choosing
no, she was a whole problem.
balance.
Yeah.
I'm choosing balance. My hands in the air. I'm choosing balance right now. Did she endorse you?
No, she endorsed one of my opponents who
Hmm.
basically was about to was a who where that opponent she lost as well, obviously in the race. But the problem is she almost created another Flint, Michigan out here in California, which we still haven't fully addressed Flint, Michigan. But that's a whole nother conversation to be had. So
Actually, there is another Flint, Michigan. It's called Denmark, South Carolina, right here in Clyburn's district. They haven't had clean water in 10 years. But Carly Sellers, another dishonorable mention, is from there. But he so far up Clyburn's ass, he could come out his damn esophagus. But his old little town doesn't have clean water. Okay? North Charleston has the most toxic water in the country. Florence, South Carolina, there are churches there who has had to get donations together to buy solar panel filters so that they can have water to drink. So there's plenty of Flint, Michigan in Clyburn's district. So I want to say this again, y'all. We could have lost the election, but we're going to win this race. We're winning the race. You see, here's the funny thing. I started with nothing. Y'all have to find out about me and have faith in me and support me. The only direction I have to go is up. You see? That's it. So I got what, 3,000 votes, which I'm gonna talk about that by the way in a minute. It's only up for me. You see, the good thing is when you start small, there's always plenty of room for growth. Cobber can't grow no more, and he hasn't. He hasn't. He's been there for 30 years, and he has never cracked 200,000 outside of that one time when Obama ran for re-election and Clyburn didn't have any challengers, and he got over 200,000 votes. That is it. And he couldn't even get 50,000 people to come out and vote for him this time. With all that campaigning he did, I got the 4 to 5% of the vote without any money for the most part, just starting off. I want to make that very clear. Now, there is something I want to say to y'all about what Tamara was speaking. There may very well be a recount. I don't know if Tamara said this to y'all. I wasn't here for the whole room. You remember how Trump was going on and on and on about the election being stolen? And he was talking about those Dominion voter machines? Well, Tamara said this to me, but I always like to do my own research. And Tamara, what you told me, I found out is true. Stacey Abrams actually was the first person to start with saying that these Dominion voting machines were not secure. They are easily manipulated. And I've gotten reports from people. I just reported to the South Carolina Elections Commission saying that my name wasn't on a ballot or that my name was Gregg Dixon and not Gregg Marcel Dixon. Now, I can't verify those things are true or not, but what I can say is that I'm not trusting these numbers I see at all either. I'm just thinking, we knocked on 150,000 doors at least, over 1 million emails, 250,000 text messages, 150 commercials. I did over a dozen meet and greets, several interviews, some on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, with people that are well known in the community. But the thing that is most concerning to me is I've had more people verbally tell me that they voted for me than what these polls are showing. That's the thing that's most concerning to me. Like in Sumter, Clyburn's hometown, his doctors that endorsed me, I spoke to more people online and in person in Sumter who confirmed they voted for me than what the poll numbers are showing. And that's one of the main reasons I'm not trusting these numbers. I'm not saying I would have won, but I am saying when you are in one county and you got 40 votes, but you already draw 50 people that voted for you because one of the people who voted for you, his family is a family of like 30 people and they all voted for you. And then you spoke to someone else that their family, like a family of 10 that voted for you, and yet the actual numbers are showing less than that. That's the thing that makes me very suspicious. I feel like they had Clyburn already picked, and they want to make it a short thing one way or the other. Had I come in first, they would have probably been saying we need a recount because the machines were manipulated. They would have been using the same thing right here to their advantage. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But like I say, y'all, we can let them have a few elections, but we are definitely winning this race. But don't be surprised if there is a recount called. I'm speaking with my team, Alexis Nas knows that too, because it's a group decision. But I'm speaking with Oz the most. But don't be surprised if a recount is called. But like I said, I hear people say, well, now that your campaign is over, you going to run again? I ain't never stopped running. Okay, Tour de France. Oh, that's on a bicycle, right? Whatever, hell.
Thank you, Marcel, for speaking and sharing those thoughts and words with us. Nas?
Oh, yeah, I thought William was about to say something. No, I
Yeah,
just,
no, I
I was.
it's just I was, but
Go ahead,
finish
William.
because I know it's
No, you
seven
go
thirty,
ahead. You go
four
ahead.
thirty
You
on
go
my
ahead.
end. No,
Yeah,
no,
you go
it's 4.
ahead.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm about to get off. But once again, thank you, Nas, Lex. Like I said, Black Political Swingers. Um, we in this. Marcel, Tamara, like all my love, and peace, love, reparations, y'all.
Why you acting like you about to not run again?
An exploratory committee is opened up. We'll figure out.
Good.
That'll come. I'm trying to get me a job right now.
Oh,
I'm applying for a pastor position right now. So,
oh,
because
see, okay.
when one door doesn't close, but like I said, something has opened up. So that's really where my head is right now. Um, and yeah, and it's so, but that's where we are. But make no mistake. Uh, yeah, I'm totally here 100%. So yeah.
I want to say something. You got to have that rule my mother had, William. My mother said, "You those little goddamn doors in my house." That's how I am. Ain't no one door closed. No, ain't no doors closing. My mother used to keep it open. Well, what you doing closing doors? You were paying no bills in this house. So my attitude, see, you do the same thing. I don't know. Y'all be doing things so proper. Y'all be doing exploratory committees, and I just waking up saying, "All right, I'm running for office today." And I be putting up my clothes, and I just be doing things. I guess that's probably why what happened. But you know what though? I want to say too about Tamara's case. I found it a little strange with Tamara's case because Georgia is ground zero for a lot of shady stuff going on with those voting machines. Georgia really is ground zero. But whatever's in Georgia it always makes its way to South Carolina. I do find it strange, Tamara, that you had over 106,000 votes just a little over 2 years ago. And now that don't make sense. If Warnock was on the ballot with you the last time and people weren't feeling him and they voted for you. So now all of a sudden, more people were feeling him, including the ones that voted for you last time, when people are as angry with Congress as they have ever been. That's not mathing to me. Am I the only one who finds that strange? How is it that Tamara was on the ballot with Warnock the last time she ran? There were several others on there, right? She got 106,000 votes. Now, all of a sudden, you only get 28,000, and all these other people who weren't feeling Warnock voted for him, including the people that weren't feeling him but were feeling you more. They just all of a sudden woke up and voted for him too. When he's been in Congress, has been a disaster. If that makes sense to anyone, please come up and explain it to me. Help me understand that. If we're not seeing that's not right, I need someone to explain to me. Okay, let's say all these other candidates in Georgia who were on the ballot with Warnock originally, let's say all the people that voted for them say, okay, I'm going to put my money in Warnock. I can get that. But why were the people who voted for Tamara last time over Warnock all of a sudden this time say, you know what? Warnock actually is in Congress now. He's been doing a horrible job, but we like him better than Tamara. I don't see that doesn't make sense. How do you go from 106,000 to 28,000 when the people who voted with you had the chance to elect Warnock the first time? He's been in Congress. He's been a disaster. He's done nothing to make more people like him. That's not adding up to me.
Yeah, none of it adds up, Marcel. It's unraveling here, and they're uncovering some discrepancies. So we're not done. We're not done, and y'all stay tuned. Stay tuned. I don't want to say too much because there's legalities. So we're just trying to chart this the right way. So just stay tuned, y'all. This is we're here, and we about to we're coming. We ain't going nowhere. So stay tuned.
Can I say one thing before before y'all run or whatever? So I know you said you maybe can't say certain things, so if you can't talk about these things, you don't have to. But two things that I remember from a video I watched that you did after the election, you mentioned how the Democratic Party sent out mailers that I think had your opponent's name on it or something like that. And then the other thing is, which was common with Marcel's situation, and was the debate, the fact that they don't want to debate us. So if the people in power, they have all these resources, and then they have control over the media, meaning they black you out of the media, and then there's no mandatory debate, there's no way that a new candidate could come in and change things. And to anyone, even though I'm not saying someone has said this already, but to anyone wondering why would we look at all these things together and analyze and do recounts in different situations, think about this. Fast forward to the next race. Let's say one of these candidates or all these candidates, they're really close, by let's say 1,000 votes. If we don't address shady practices now, when we're really going to need it, if we haven't addressed it, we're going to lose that race too. So I think it's very important to logically look at everything and examine it. But yeah, you can go ahead. I didn't mean to talk so long.
Oh no, brother, you're just fine. No, you're right. The Democratic Party, they sent out mailers that had Warnock picture on it. We had parties here that were hosting events, raising money to support his candidacy, and put it out in emails. And I have all the receipts. Phone banking for Warnock. The party was engaging in this kind of behavior. So yeah, y'all stay tuned. This party is not off the hook, and we are demanding a recount. And yeah, y'all stay tuned.
It has to be more than a recount. Let me tell y'all what's going to have to happen. Okay? Like I said, like Nas said, they already have it rigged. They avoid debates so that candidates who are quality candidates will not get any exposure, and the candidates that are currently in office will not be shown for being the crappy people they are. They don't give fair coverage. They gave Clyburn several fluff pieces while only giving a passing mention of the other candidates. Okay? They do not. It wasn't even just the fact that they covered just Clyburn. It was the fact that if you're going to cover him, hold him accountable. They never, and still to this day, had not mentioned his piss poor record. And when I would mention it, when they would get a comment from me, they will edit it and just say something vague like, "Oh, Gregg Marcel Dixon mentioned concerns with some of the conditions in Clyburn's district." That's not what I said. I gave specific statistics that are verifiable. 6th poorest out of 435 in the nation. 3rd poorest out of 435 in the nation for children. Worst water. Highest number of amputations, where of course Black Americans are the majority of the amputees. Okay? Worst schools. Highest rate of eviction, some of the highest rate of gun violence, some of the highest rate of Black land theft. It goes on and on and on. They would not mention that. They would just give some vague comment, conditions in his district. The unfairness of it all. What I am going to do is this. Either, like I said before, either I'm going to shake things up or I'm going to blow things up. I don't mind blowing things up, even if I'm going to be in there with it. And I mean what I say. Hell. Now, I'm going to still try to shake things up. Here's how I plan to shake things up. They're going to mess around and have me partnering with Republicans. That's what's going to happen. The Republicans will love to have a Black guy who's a Democrat calling out the Democrats. Okay? Now, I did not, and there were Republicans who reached out to me. Several. Okay? And I had several long phone calls with them. It didn't go anywhere, and I didn't pursue it. But if I have to teach the Democrats a lesson, which I'm more than willing to do, I will do. Like I said, the mistake I made was focusing only on us. Put us first, but I should have been reaching out to white conservatives as well. Because the Republicans actually have the resources to give me the platform I need to get the attention that I was not getting from the Democrats who want Black votes but don't want to do Black policies. I will not make that mistake again. And that's all I'm going to say.
Can I add a clarification there? The one clarification is that in addition to what Marcel said, we realize, and we have realized multiple times, And I think all of us here realize how much you have to penetrate that local market, like how robust that street team has to be to really, and you educate the voters, you make them understand the issues, and that way when you come to and say, "Hey, I'm running," they already understand why you're running and why they should vote for you, right? And as Marcel said, if you, like all of the candidates here, if you're only getting your money mid campaign, you don't have much time to do all that, because it takes time to walk around all these places and drive to all these places. So I just want people to keep that in mind. But it's a long race for us, but we're gonna make it there, and I applaud everyone here who has ran and who will run again or work towards us getting where we need to get.
I also have to say more too. It's going to take us. I mean, that's what this has shown. First of all, it shows that we can. I hate and I can't stand it. I've heard several of us say this when I say that all of us need to be running for federal office. It needs to be a groundswell. Just us running for federal office alone, even if we lose, would send them a powerful message. Clyburn probably knew that I probably wouldn't have a chance of winning. He probably knew there was a chance, but I'm pretty sure he knew that he probably would have had it in the bag just because of name recognition and his connections alone. But the fact of the matter is, he knew that had he done nothing and just allowed me to have the run of the place, my message would have caught on to people. So what did he do? He got activated. And what did he do? To try to counter my message some, he actually tried to speak about black issues. Is it sufficient? No. But he actually reintroduced that GI Bill thing, which is a sucky bill, but this is him trying to act black. He actually has HR 40 on his website. Do I support HR 40? No. But if that's probably the blackest thing he's ever done, yes. He actually is now talking about edge property. I promise you this. Don't be surprised if you see him trying to do some type of, oh, look, you see, I'm doing something for black people type policy soon. Because Clyburn knows I ain't going away. And guess what? It ain't about me. Even if I do go away, Clyburn knows that sooner or later, someone else like me or even more on top of things like me is going to come. That's how movements start. But all of us, like I see too many of us excusing ourselves. I've had too many people say to me, well, I ain't the political type. Damn, nigga, neither am I. Okay? I ain't the political type. I didn't have a desire to be a politician. I woke up 7 months ago and said something has to change. And I decided I'm going to be that change. But if any of us in this room sees the way things are and we're just sitting there excusing ourselves and we think, well, I'm a supporter. I like to be behind the scenes. You are part of the problem. You are part of the problem. Okay? I like to be home. I like to eat. I like to not be bothered with people. You know how many times I had to do things I didn't like to do? You know how many things I went to by myself? Black-owned restaurants, nightclubs, barbershops, hair salons, speaking in front of crowds of hundreds of people. That's not things I like to do. Anyone who knows me knows I can go home, give me something good to eat, something good to watch, and I'm good. I have to get out of my comfort zone. I have to put myself out there. People know who I am now. Names attached to me. It wasn't anything I wanted to do. I did it because it had to be done. You think Harriet Tubman wanted to go on the Underground Railroad? You think she wanted to go there and put herself in danger? She did it because it had to be done. I keep saying this and it seems like we are not getting the message because I don't see any of us doing it. We all should be running on federal office. I don't give a damn if it's what you like to do or if you feel it's something that you're cut out for. I'm not cut out for this either. Okay? This ain't the first time we've had to do things that we didn't want to do or we didn't feel we were predisposed to do. And yet we do it and we do it well. And we do it not because we want to do it, but because it has to be done. If not, we're going to be here 10 years from now in the reparations movement. We're going to be saying, oh, so-and-so guy that started just last month. And then they're going to look down and Google and see that 10 years ago, there was actually a reparations movement, but it faded away because all of us sat on our behinds and hoped that someone else would do it instead of us being the ones to do it. Get over the sitting on our tails, hoping that someone else does it attitude. No one else is going to do it but us. Now, everyone can't be the person running. And even if you're not the person running, if you're not the person running, then you need to be running down to where the person is running to support that person is running. Because like now I said, it takes a ground team. The biggest mistake I made was that I started way too late. I started 7 months ago. I now understand why people usually start 2 years in advance. Because that's the amount of time it takes at a minimum to get your name out there and among the people. Imagine if we were doing what I had done, what y'all had helped me do 2 years straight. You know the results would have been different. But I didn't have the money. And y'all didn't know me. Let's be honest. Some of y'all were just finding out about me. So if y'all were just finding out about me on Twitter, and I'm active on Twitter, just imagine people in my large rural area who don't watch the news a lot of times, don't read the newspaper, and some of them live in the middle of nowhere. I could be compassionate to the fact that some of them just voted for Clyburn out of ignorance because that's the only name they recognize. His doctors that supported me, the lady, Dr. Brenda Williams, she told me that some people said that they voted for Clyburn because they didn't know the other candidates. And they didn't like Clyburn, but they felt it's their duty to vote for someone. That's literally what she told me. Now, that's not excusing the old coons. Old coons, young coons, new coons need to die. Is this being recorded? Yes, it is. Old coons, young coons, middle-aged coons need to die. I will say this on the news. I've tweeted it. I will stand by it. I will defend it. Put it on my tombstone. Okay? Now, but those who knew better, you are a coon if you voted for Clyburn, and blood is on your hands. But some people just voted out of ignorance. They just didn't know any other name, but they knew Clyburn. So what is my job now? It is my job to help people get to know me. Do not ever bring up Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to me. That is one of the most annoying comparisons I ever hear. That is a white woman. Okay? A white woman who was well educated and had good connections. I get so sick of this. She was just a waitress, working class. No, she was not a waitress, just working class. She had good connections. She went to Boston University. She had very good connections from her time in Boston University. Stop acting like she just woke up one day and saw people suffering and wanted to act. She had good connections. She had a hell of a head start that I would have loved to have had. She started off with a big, huge team. She was in an urban area where you could walk down the street and hand out flyers, where you could get in a crowded park and walk, and people walk past you. Hundreds of thousands of people in your district, you could engage them. She was not in a rural area where you have to drive for 10 miles or more sometimes to find maybe 20 trailers in an area and then drive another 20, 30 miles to find 5 trailers. She was not in that predicament. She was not working 60 hours a week. She did not start with not a penny in her account. Well, I actually had $100. You got to get $100 for you to start it. I did. There is no one who has done what we are trying to do before. That's the point I'm making. Because most of all, Alexandria Cortez, Alexandria, whatever her name is, did not run on a reparations platform. Do not insult any reparations candidate by mentioning her. She did what we did. If I would have came out here riding on a unicorn and waving the rag flag going, yes, honey, yes, snap, snap, I would have got us so many damn votes. Hell, I would have I would have probably had 97% of the vote. All you need to do is do something for every other group, don't even for black people. If I would have came out here with a blue and yellow flag tattooed on my chest, running to bring peace to Ukraine, I would have brought the 97% of the votes home. So let's also not act like any other candidate is comparable to what we're doing. We're running on a reparations platform. That right there makes our campaigns very unique. Anytime you put something on your platform, anytime you center Black Americans, and not just Black people, Black Americans, you specify that on your platform, you already have added a humongous challenge to your campaign. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez didn't do that. Matter of fact, she said, "What is black?" And all I said to her is, "Bring home a black guy. Your mama Sita will show you what's black real quick." So that's all I want to say. Um, I started off today, still ready to pound the pavement and do reparations. And like I said, don't come and say my campaign is over, what I'm going to do, because my campaign hasn't ended. My campaign started 3 years ago. See, I'm not campaigning to get into Congress. My campaign was us to get reparations. Getting into Congress is just a part of the strategy. And whether I'm going to try that strategy again, just stay tuned. We will see. But like I told Watch News here in Columbia, South Carolina, Clyburn and his $3, they ain't seen the last of me. I'm just getting started. I said that right on live TV, and I told them I hope they get the message. They ain't seen the last of me. Every single time he comes in public and he wants to talk legislation, he's gonna see me. He's gonna see me in his sleep. He's gonna see me when the first time he wakes up. I'm gonna haunt him. If he thinks winning is going to excuse him from accountability, he's going to get the 30 years of accountability that he has never gotten until now. Watch me.
And hence why I have run 5 times. It's like whatever, Marcel, I just want to say how much I love you. I am so proud of you. Your fire, your energy. I remember when you came to Atlanta. Was that Atlanta you came and to the rally here?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was Atlanta.
hmm I saw that in you. It was in you. So I'm so proud of you. And for people who look at me and say, you run 5 times. Yes. When you believe it, you know it, you see it, you live and it's your purpose. It doesn't, it's who you are. And Marcel, this is what you were built for. This is what you were made to do. I am so proud to be on this journey alongside you and fighting for our people and having the love and support of those of you who are in this room. Like, we're all in this together. We're all in this together. And it is my purpose. And I love us. And I'm going to continue to speak truth to power. Again, in my first 3 races, I always talk about race, racism, and race relations. This is before I got into the reparations movement. And then in 2020, it was like taking it to the next level. And it was reparations and it's reparations now and it's reparations until it's done. So I'm just glad we're here and y'all have strong candidates. And I hope that y'all heard Marcel and really take, pick up the baton, take up this mantle and run where you are. Get in this fight, because the more of us that actually get out here and do this, the more dangerous we become. They can't stop this. We're not going to stop. And I just want to say thank y'all. This is what it's supposed to be. So I feel it. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Tamara. And let me say something. I said I was not going to run again. I said, man, so many days. I said, when this thing is over, let me tell you, there was some days, y'all, I was hoping I would not win. Okay? I said, bro, don't mess around, let me win. I said, I'm going to come on that Twitter and say, y'all. And that. Yeah, we get it to Clyburn. Because that's how tired I was of so many days. Now, I can't imagine myself doing anything else. And that's with me, that's with me knowing, even if I knew I was not going to win this election, I want to repeat for those that came in the room, we're winning the race. That doesn't mean we're always going to win the election, okay? But let's say I knew the outcome was going to be, if it really is the true outcome, what it was yesterday. I would still have ran. That's how much I love doing what I was doing. That's where the passion comes from. I love us. We're changing the conversation. We're changing the dialogue. Okay? Before, and I know that's a low ball. We need more than just some damn conversation. I hate when they say, well, that's definitely a conversation we need to have. No, we need legislation. But legislation, conversation precedes legislation. Like, imagine, Amira, if it was like a Tiffany Cross on Fox Soul with those 2 immigrants. She would have sat there and let them talk negative things about Black Americans and not center us. I had the privilege of being able to be in spaces where I brought the conversation back to us. No one else in this room was at the South Carolina State Democratic Convention Saturday, but no one spoke about our needs. In a state like South Carolina, where 70% of the Democrats are Black Americans, no one mentioned a single specific Black policy. I was given the last slot to speak. Clyburn's daughter, you can be sure, did that. because she thought everybody's going to be gone. People stayed. And this was nothing but a Clyburn love fest. So I said, I don't know how they're going to receive my speech, but I know I'm going to speak the truth. And I did, and they loved it. You see, if I was not there, no one would have mentioned reparations. No one would have called the Democratic Party out for wanting us always to save them and wanting to take our votes, but never showing up to save us. You want black votes, want to do black policies. Because I was there. Y'all, you have to be there. If you're not there, wherever you are, they're not. Then we won't be there. We won't be represented at all. The more we are there, the more we're going to be up there in Congress. So I'm waiting to see who's going to be the next reparation candidate that comes around from the grassroots. That's really what I'm waiting for. I'm serious. I'm waiting to see who's going to announce themselves. I respect people running locally, but I'll talk about federal. I'm waiting to see who's going to come out of the black grassroots movement that we probably tweet with every single day, who's going to be the next reparation candidate. So I can come to Virginia or Louisiana, or, you are unfortunate enough to live in California. Yeah, yeah. Or, New York, it's for you if you live there, but I'm waiting to see who's going to be the next reparationist candidate. I'm really waiting to see that. So we can have more of us and more of us. And to the point where we are in this Twitter spaces, all of us have ran on a reparations platform, or a reparations candidate, or a reparations representative. So that's all I want to say. We're not going to win all elections, but we're going to win this race. Oh, and I heard that Steve Harvey, 1993 Steve Harvey lookalike, was talking trash about Tamara and I, talking about 0 out of 2 and political education. It's so easy to talk about what other people should do when you ain't doing it. It's so easy to sit up on a YouTube video and to talk about what they should have done and what they did wrong. Show me what you've done. Okay? You say you've been doing this for years, so where's the reparations? Huh? Where is the successful reparations candidates you have managed? Show me what you have done to get reparation legislation push or progress on a federal level. Show me what you are doing to support people who are trying to run for reparationists. So I'm gonna need that person to shut the damn mouths. Okay? It's so easy to talk and criticize people when you're not in the actually trying to do what those people are trying to do. So easy. And then you ask them what they're trying to do. We working on something. We working on it. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Don't tell me what you're doing. Show me what you're doing. Whether you think I did what was right or not, I'm just going to speak for me. The point was you could see that I was doing something. So don't tell me what you're doing. Don't tell me you're doing the work. Show me the work. So that's all I want to say, y'all. And yeah, I've loved this experience. I'm so thankful that y'all gave me the privilege. It was so much a privilege to speak up for my people. I have watched that interview on Fox Soul with Tariq and I several times. And it just lights me up on the inside. Like, I can't believe I'm able to defend my people. Things that I used to watch in my living room, and I was literally about to explode because no one was talking up for us. I was able to do it. Same thing when I was on Karen Hunter, when she tried to pull that vote blue no matter who, and black people need to vote, just vote for the lesser of two evils things. I shut her down. So she tried to get loud. Oh, I was trying to get loud. I got loud back. I said, I'm going to finish what I was saying. I shut her down. That was a privilege. And I would have, that made a whole damn run worth it. And we just getting started. So, guys, Alexis, thank you. Tamara, love you too. I love all of my true reparationist freedmen family. And when I say I love y'all, I mean it. I really do mean it. My voice I have a strong voice, so my voice doesn't always convey sentimentality, but I am a very sentimental person. My voice is just very strong. I have a very strong personality. But when I say I love my Freeman reparationist family, I did. My mother would cry so many days, afraid that someone was going to do me harm, that her child was going to get killed, because black people do get killed for things like this. I never thought about that. I would only think about it when y'all were asking me things like that. I never thought about that. But even if it did, I said to my mother one time, if a person doesn't have anything worth dying for, then that person doesn't have anything worth living for. And I found something worth dying for. And I mean that. Now let's go out there and give Clyburn hell, Maxine Waters hell, Ayanna Presley hell, Cory Booker hell, Hakeem Jeffries hell. Let's give, and even I like this particular lady, but let's give Laura Underwood hell. Let's give Kamami Harris hell. Let's give all the Congressional Slack Caucus hell because we've been going through hell. And it is not fair that we're the only ones that get to go through hell. Let's share it. My mother always said, even if you got one candy bar, you split that candy bar in half, you give it to the other person. So we got a lot of hell we've been going through. It's about time we share it. Either we gonna give them hell or they gonna give us release.
There we go. And I think we should end it there. I think that this is a good, succinct space. Alexis, I know, has to go, and I'm sure that the candidates have to go. But and I know that some of y'all raised your hand, but when they told me to do this room, we just wanted to let them speak, and that's it. And it was supposed to be 30 minutes, so we kind of went a little longer. We went like an hour. So thank everybody for coming. And if any of the candidates or Alexis want to say bye or say one last thing, then we gonna bounce.
I love you, family. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Nas. Thank you, Marcel, Tamara, and William. And I am too looking forward to those who are going to run in the next races. Good night.